Some of you guys are acting sad about Queen Elizabeth's passing, as if you yourself are next in line for the royal family. I don't know how else to tell you, but they don't care about you, okay? And they also colonized us.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Maya's World. Hi everyone, so this video is going to be as quick as possible. The topic is a bit heavy. So, because of that, I'm gonna start off the video kind of, just big flexing myself. Like, you guys look, I tied my scarf in like a really interesting way. I've been really into head wraps lately. This is a really beautiful bracelet that I got in Nigeria. Peep the makeup. Okay, and then the top. Okay, too much. Okay, you guys, now that we've gotten that, let me know which part you like the most. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, free my people. Free my people. Release us from the shackles that the royal family has, okay? Especially the older generation. No tea, no shade. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of in the older WhatsApp group people mourning Queen Elizabeth, and there's a couple things that I really want to point out. So today is September 8th. Hopefully I'm going to upload this video today. We are talking about the passing of Queen Elizabeth, who has died at I think 96 or 98 or some really old age that she has died, and some people are really upset about it. And I feel like I'm seeing almost like, I feel like we have this kind of cultural amnesia that happens, where people often forget the atrocities that very wealthy and powerful people have done amongst marginalized groups. I feel like something about the queen aspect and how much we respect queendom and royal family and wealth and power, somewhere along the lines, we've lost the plot. I want to present y'all facts about the royal family, and I also just want to define what colonialism is, because on my platform, I would like to say I'm probably the most fashionable girl talking about colonialism. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk about these little topics and give y'all looks. You know, I feel like I'm a colonialism expert fashionista, okay? So, and the reason that I really like talking about colonialism is because there's so much of our history that's intentionally erased. When we talk about the history of Black people, we are only going to hear about our history from the mouths of people who were the winners, who were the colonizers. I don't need to put that in parentheses. Who benefited from us being enslaved. And these people benefit from us not knowing our real history. One of the things that I see people who are trying to justify why they like Queen Elizabeth or the royal family is they always say like, it's in the past, we need to move forward. But the issue is, if our history isn't even properly documented, told, or we know it, what is there to move forward? Like, you only move forward when don't they say that you have to know your past to know where you're going? But they intentionally don't want us to know our past. So here are some facts about the royal family that maybe not all of you know that I think is really important when we think about how they've collected their wealth, how they've collected their power. The royal family literally funded the transatlantic slave trade. They were funders. They were really, really big money makers, money spenders during colonialism. And so people keep saying like, oh, why would you rejoice the death of somebody? Why wouldn't you mourn the death of Queen Elizabeth? And my question is, why wasn't Queen Elizabeth mourning the death of millions of people that were murdered through colonialism? To live to be 96 is a privilege. To live to be 96 knowing that the empire you're sitting on has destroyed loads of people since the beginning of time is a privilege. Okay, so no, let me even explain what colonialism is, because I talk about that a lot and I'm not really sure if people are understanding what I mean when I say that. I'm gonna not give you the textbook version. I'm gonna give you the version that helps, like, how my brain perceives it. You can obviously do more research, but colonialism is the act of going into a country, economically plundering the country, but then also the indoctrination, the erasure of the indigenous culture, the forcing of religion. A lot of the social issues that we struggle with today is in direct response of colonialism. Colonialism is a trauma. Not only is colonialism a trauma because people were actually like kidnapped and trafficked and stolen, which were our siblings and family members. Keep in mind, right? Like, as West African people, the people who were stolen from us were a part of our families, right? So not only is that, but the thing that I like to focus on is the ways culturally colonialism shows up. So skin bleaching products, skin whitening products, glorifying non-Black people, the act of constantly centering our history through the lens of the oppressor. These are all things that are traces of colonialism. And this family benefits from colonialism. There are people who are still now suffering from the hands of what was done by these people. Also, another thing that I always really try to make prominent is slavery is a byproduct of colonialism. So the colonialism is the act of going, like, let's just take West Africa, going to West Africa, and the act of taking slaves. Slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, is a byproduct of colonialism. Something that I think people forget is the ways in which West Africa also has been heavily impacted by colonialism, slavery, slave trade. So with the passing of the Queen of England, I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of people who are upset. I'm seeing a lot of people who aren't upset, but I'm seeing a lot of people who are mourning the Queen and attacking those who are rejoicing or happy that the Queen has passed.
I'm going to say this: we are not obligated to grieve the loss of colonizers. But the people who really should be censored during this time is women like Muthoni Mutenga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she's a Kenyan woman who was a part of the Mau Mau people. And she was literally calling out Queen Elizabeth prior to her passing to say, you need to do something. Never once did the Queen apologize for the atrocities. Not that an apology would even make anything better, because what does amends even look like? Not to mention there's no discussion of reparations in terms of like what that even looks like. So something I think is really interesting. This might be a wild take, but when the transition of colonialism happened and like missionaries came soon after, I've like read accounts about how like the thing that they were talking about the most when missionaries came was forgiveness. And it's like they push you to not really process your grief because they're trying to absolve themselves of the atrocities that they just did through colonialism. So when we adopted Christianity within Africa, we were soon taught heavily forgive, forgive, forgive. And I think right now the same thing is happening, where we're speaking up against, or where some people are rejoicing the end of Queen Elizabeth, and people are telling them to have respect. I feel like that we don't allow people to have a range of emotions that diverge away from praising our colonizers. And we should allow people to have that space. Like, it is not your right to tell me I should be crying, boohoo, sad, and upset about someone who I know I'm not even aware of the full atrocities that that family has created. I'm only seeing a speck. And in that speck, it's looking very bad.
I really want people to analyze what aspect they are sad about, because something that I feel like people don't realize is the ways that we have been indoctrinated to loving our oppressors. There is so much money, funding, and just pressure to love the people who have historically hurt us. And I feel like I kind of wish when we talked about history, we had a trauma-informed lens, because I feel like if we understand how trauma shows up, then we can understand how a lot of the actions that we do is in response to traumatic experiences. When I say we need to have a trauma-informed lens, I mean like progress isn't linear. So what people think is progress, like, I think for us, it's really important to speak honestly of what they've done. If these people have colonized and hurt so many people from the dawn of time, I don't think it's fair to say that you feel sad that they're no longer here. If you want to feel sad that she's not here, like, understand that your sadness as a colonized person is heavily linked to the fact that we were brainwashed and force-fed our history from them. Because, like I said, so many of our people have had shorter lives, have had less, like, we are like still, our colonialism isn't just cultural, it's economics, it's economical. Like, the reason that so many of us had to leave our homes and like our homes isn't safe is due to the genocides that have happened in our homeland countries. And because our history is taught through the lens of the people who have hurt us. We're not even using the right language to describe what's happening. That's why we still praise people like King Leopold, who murdered millions of people in Congo, who had one of the most atrocious genocides. That's why we still uphold people like Mongo Park in Nigeria, who we say coined, who we say founded the river Niger, which had already been there for thousands of years prior to him being there. Like, this is the reason that it's so important for us to know our history and to know who is teaching us what we know. Why do we as colonized people know more about Britain because of the school systems in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Kenya than people that are there? A lot of Westerners know nothing about African culture. They do not know, as in, like, if you say what tribe you are, they will not know it. A lot of people are still asking what language they speak in Nigeria, like all these things. So it's like, why is it that a country that has like destroyed another has the privilege of not knowing anything about the people, but the people who are actually from the area know everything about the people who colonized? It's giving brainwashing, it's giving indoctrination, and the ways in which we were forced these things have been very violent. I was being told that, like, even our school systems and having like this corporal punishment that happens in the West where we were beat and forced to keep these informations in our head, forced to constantly feel a tie. I just ask us to remove the shackles and the love that we have for these people. I think that we should allow people, if they want to rejoice the end of a monarchy, or not even the end, like they're still going, but if we want to rejoice, like, let them. It's very weird that we are attacking people who are colonized by those people for speaking up and being happy. So yeah, that's all I have to say. If you made it to the end, let me know, like, what is your concept to the monarchy? I feel like everyone, like all colonized people, have like very intense relationships. Something that I think was really interesting is, like, if you have people who are older than you who grew up in colonized countries, Africa, ask them, what did you have to learn about the British? And like, what things were you indoctrinated? Or if you are from a country, like what thing in your history were you taught about the British that you just knew was wrong, or you find it strange, or you think it sounds colonized? Like, I want to know, because there are many things that we were taught about the British. Like, even the downplaying of the ways that we fought back. Like, all of those things are all linked to colonialism, because we have to be passive for them to be strong. Like, we have to be the losers for them to be winners. So someone has to suffer for them to have privileges. The diamonds that she has on her neck, the diamonds that they have, the artifacts that they keep. Like, the system is having to stand off of the backs of us. And I just pray that we can get to a point where we don't have anyone standing on our backs anymore. That's what I want. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.